Today we are going to talk about the first lesson of Chapter 5. Now, Chapter 5 in this unit actually has to do with percents. Now, percents are a big deal, and they are a big part of everyday life, and especially when you're shopping. Okay, probably your parents have done a lot of shopping, especially if you go to someplace like Kohl's or someplace like that where they always have percentages off. It's very important to know percentages well so you know if you're getting a good deal or not. Okay, now you guys may not care about this now, but saving money and getting the best deal is extremely important when you're an adult. Now you're just like, I just want it. I don't care how much it is. If an Xbox One and it's $500, I want it. Oh, I can get it for $300. I don't care. Which can I get quicker? Okay, that's usually your concern. But when you get a little bit older, and it's your money, not your parents' money, then you kind of change your mindset just a little bit because you want to save as much of that money as you can. Trust me, you may be rolling your eyes now. I can see it, and I can hear all the groaning of like, yeah, whatever. I can hear it all the way through here. But you will change your mind quite a bit whenever you're the one that's working and earning the money and having to pay the bills and all of that stuff. Yeah, you'll be thankful that you know this. So we're going to talk about percentages, and we're going to take it a little slow because there's a lot to it, and a lot of times percentages kind of freak some sixth graders out. So let's not worry about that. It's going to be easy. It won't freak you out. Okay. So the main thing about percentages is you need to figure out that they're based out of 100. Okay. Now we know from, say, graded papers and things like that, if you get a 100% score on your paper, you got all of the points. So that means you got everything. So we base percentages on 100, with 100 being the whole thing. Okay. And last chapter we talked about ratios and how you can write ratios three ways. So let's get a little refresher on that because that's important. So if I have a ratio, I can write it three ways, and here is one of the three ways. Let's say we're doing 3 of 10. 3 to 10, or 3 to 10, or 3 to 10. Okay? One of them with the colon, one of them with the word 2, because remember this colon takes the place of that word 2, and then like a fraction. Okay? Now, with percentages, we can use ratios as well, and we're going to focus on this one right here. Now, when we say with ratios, we say 3 to something, or 3 out of something. Okay? And with percentages, it's kind of the same thing, but everything's based on 100. So here is how we do this with the ratios and writing it as a ratio. So let's say that we have 30 out of 100. Okay? So we have 30 out of 100. So I put my 30, how many I have, over how many is possible. With percentages, it's going to be 100 because percentages are based on 100 once again. So the bottom number will be 100. How do you get a percentage from this? Very easy. If the bottom number is 100, it's super simple to get a percentage because percentages are based on 100 once again. So since this bottom number is 100, all I have to do to make a percentage is take this top number, the numerator, write it again, and put a percentage sign after it. Very easy. Okay? So that's how you do it as a ratio. Okay? Also, let's do it a different way. So let's say they do it the other way. They give you the percentage and they want you to write it as a ratio. So let's say it's 17%. And they want you to write it as a ratio. Okay? Well, seeing that we know that percentages are based on 100, we know that the denominator, the bottom number on that ratio that looks like a fraction, is going to be 100. Then all we do, we take this number, get rid of this percentage sign, and put it on the top. Because, remember, it's based out of 100. So 17% basically means 17 out of 100. So that's what we write, 17 to 100. Easy, right? Okay. Now here's the next step. This is how we're going to start this. Is since that we know that percentages are based on 100, There's a way that we can model that. Now, I don't mean model like, ooh, look at me. Ooh, I'm looking very nice in this shirt, modeling the shirt, and for some reason have a strange foreign accent. But has nothing to do with looks. The models have to do with basically looking at something and seeing it visually instead of just numbers. Okay? And the reason for this is why I have these cool little boxes here. These are 10 by 10 grids. And what that means is 10 boxes across, 10 boxes down. Now, another little math lesson, side math lesson. 10 times 10 equals 100. Starting to come together, isn't it? So, since we know percentages are based on 100, I have these 10 by 10 grids, which if you counted every single one of those little boxes inside of this model, there would be 100 of them. And I'm not going to spend the time to count them. If you really want to know and make sure that there's 100 there, you can stop the video, you can pause the video, and count them individually. Okay? If you do that, you need to get a hobby. Seriously. But anyway, somebody will do it just to try to call me out on it. I know. You'll let me know if I make a mistake. It never fails. So anyway, we can use these boxes, these grids, to model percentages. So let's say that for this one, we're going to model 25%. Okay? Now, what I would do, since we know that 25% means that it's 25 out of 100. Well, I've got 100 boxes here. So to model that, that means I would have to shade in 25 of these. 2, 3, 4. I'm not shading all of them in because that would take forever and you don't want to see me do that. So we'll just say that these are all shaded in, that I put the blue in. Okay. If I shade in all of those, that means that I have 25 of them shaded in. Since there's 100 total possible, and I've done 25 of them, that equals 25%. Also, they may give you the percentage sometimes. Sometimes they may give you the ratio. But don't freak out, because here's the thing. We know that it's based out of 100. 100 blocks here, 25 out of 100. That means you shade the same amount. These two things are the same. In fact, all three of these are the same. All three of those are representations of a percentage. In fact, 25%. Easy, right? Okay, let's do another one. Let's go with green this time. So pretty, so pretty. Okay. So let's take a look at this. Let's say that we are going to do 5%. Okay, we need to represent 5% on this here. Okay, so since I know that 5% is the same as 5 over 100. Okay, because all I do to make it a ratio is drop that percentage sign, put that number over how many are possible. Since percentages are based on 100, I put it over 100. So this. So I look at this. How many do I need to shade in? Well, since there's 100 here, and 5% equals 5 out of 100, I only need to shade in 5 of them. Easy stuff, right? Okay, let's do one last one, and we're going to stick with green because I like it. One last one, and then we'll be done. But this time, what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to regret this. This time, they gave me the ratio, and they want me to represent it. Now, I know that this means 95 out of 100. I could also write it as a percentage, which is 95%, because remember, all I do is, since I know percentages are based on 100, that if I've got this out of 100, then that means all I have to do is take the 100 off the bottom, add a percentage sign to the numerator, and you're good. Okay? So, since I've got 95 out of 100, or 95%, how many am I going to shade? Well, of course, 95 of them. Why did I do this to myself? I don't know. So I would shade 95 of them. And yes, I'm going to make you watch me go through all 95. And I know some of you are out there counting to make sure that I've done that. So I should start shouting out random numbers to try to mess with you, but I won't do that. Because I'm a nice guy. I'm not mean like you people that are counting all of this. By the way, my arm is getting very tired right now. So I'm hoping that this goes quickly. Imagine if I had to do all of these boxes, and I know some of you would love to torture me and make me do that, but that's okay. All my arm's gonna fall off. Okay, so that would be 95% or 95 over 100. Hopefully that helps out, and don't get caught up in them being uniform. And what I mean by being uniform is, say for example, they've shaded all of them but 5 in a row. Sometimes they can get really tricky, and instead of shading them all uniform like this, they may, for example, this one's only 5. They may shade this one right here. Let me get rid of these other ones. Okay, they may shade that one right there. Then they may shade this one right here. And then they may shade this one right here. And then they may shade this one right here. And then they shade this one right here. Okay? Now, is that still 5% or 5 out of 10? Absolutely. Because we normally think, oh, let's do them 5 in a row. But sometimes they don't do that. Sometimes they just randomly do that, or sometimes they try to make a fancy design or something like that. Just remember, if they give you this and you're trying to find what this is, just count the boxes. All right? Hopefully that clears anything up. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me, or leave a comment in the video below, and hopefully this will help you out. See? It wasn't that hard, was it? Yeah, see.